And Brian Jones, hats off to him. Great job in getting our track prepared as our Classic Racing Series drivers in their one-and-only appearance of the season make their way onto the Speedway. Don't have the names for them just yet. We will be getting the names for our Classic Racing Series drivers here shortly, as they will be in action tonight. Once again, they'll have a 5-lap heat race to kick our qualifying off here in a little bit. And then after that, they will have a meet and greet that will be coming up at our intermission period following all the heat races. That will allow you, the racing fans, to go down trackside, see some of your favorite drivers, get some photographs, chat with the drivers, and maybe an autograph. Semi-late drivers, you can make your way to the staging area. Semi-lates for your warm-ups. You can head to the staging area. Semi-late drivers for your warm-ups to the staging area, please. Brady Neff, he'll be tops on the board here in group number 1, 26.242 seconds. 19 Virginia, one of our last drivers had snuck into the pit area. Another good car. Season. Good welcome to our Classic Racing Series drivers that will make their one and only appearance. Again, those drivers, gentlemen, we need you to the staging area for your heat race as we speak. Simulates and Pure Stocks back with us tonight for their second race. Last weekend was double points. As we get set for the first green flag of the evening in competitive competition, ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask you if you can rise, if as you are able, for our invocation to be followed by our national anthem. Heavenly Father, we thank you so very much for this glorious day that you have given us. The fact that we have the ability to once again gather as friends and family members to be back at a racing facility and enjoy the sport that we love so much means so very much to us. We thank you for our military who continue to provide the safety and support for us, not only here in our own country, but all over the world, allowing us the opportunity to be with family and friends on a Saturday afternoon to enjoy the sport that we love so much. In our endeavors tonight, please keep our drivers and our track officials as safe as you possibly can. Keep our fans safe, and please help us on our journeys on our way home so that we may be able to come back next Saturday and enjoy the sport that we love so much. In your loving name, we pray. Amen. A new winner in victory lane here in the Classic Racing Series. As the pace truck pulls off into the infield area, we get set to go for our first 5-lap qualifier of the evening. Once again, simulates for heat race number 1 to the staging area. Simulates for heat race number 1 to the staging area, please. Flag, the first of the afternoon in the air in qualifying action, with the 53 of Jimmy Combs trying to grab that early lead down in turn number 1 and 2. He will get that position. Tyler Miller from the inside of that second row, quickly grabbing second. Here comes a challenge up on the inside. Looks like the 20 of Steve Cantwell thought about it, backed off, and he stays back in third position right now, single file down to the bottom of the racetrack off of turn number 4. Not far behind in that fourth position, going to be the 15 of Logan Miller out of Westminster, Maryland. He's right there as well. 53 of Combs taking it to the bottom. The 8 of Miller a little bit higher up the track, but able to maintain that position. Only a few car lengths back in the number 2 spot as they come back for lap number 2. He's led the first 2, and that lead is shrinking just a little bit for Jimmy Combs as the 8 of Miller starts to close in a little bit. Cantwell in the number 20. Just a couple of car lengths back in third. Right now it's a 3-car race as the 15 of Logan Miller leads the charge of the other 4 drivers in the field as they come back for 2 laps to go here in this afternoon's qualifier. Once again, simulates heat race number 1. You need to be at the staging area. Simulates for heat race number 1 to the staging area, please. Miller shadowing Combs down in turn 3 and 4. He's only got a couple of sets of turns to see what he can do as Combs swings it wide off turn 4. White flag in the air this time by. Miller getting that car wound up on the front straightaway. He's going to continue in that middle to high groove. Miller Combs now slides up a little bit just in front of him and takes away some of that momentum. And a spinner off turn number 2. That's a 12 of Jim Crocker. He'll gather it back up. Field meanwhile in turn 3 and 4. Miller dives it down to the bottom. He's trying to make something happen, but Combs will come away with the Classic Racing Series heat race win. So the 53 of Jimmy Combs from the pole takes the victory, but the 8 of Tyler Miller right there starting third and hounded him the entire 5-lap distance. 20 of Steve Cantwell winds up in third with the 15 of Logan Miller rounding out the top 4. 99K, he will be out as well. He was third in the points. The 65 of Dylan Wilson in this race. He's number 4 on the board. The 1C of Steve Kent. 25 of Jeremy Mills. He'll also be in heat race number 2. He's 6th in the points. Walter Crouch in the 92 out with us right now. He is 7th. 03 of Brady Neff, 9th. And a great deal rounding out the top 10. Rob Nichols also up there in the top 10 as well. In the meantime, they're double wide off turn 4. We get set for the first qualifier of the evening. 5 laps of distance in simulate action. Wilkins will grab that early lead away from Deacon Schneider. Now Dylan Wilson and Jason Stoner from the back of the field. They're putting the pressure on. Wilson to the inside of Schneider down the back straightaway. As Wilkins opens up, car length or so lead. Schneider fighting hard. Car giving him a little bit of a push off of turn number 4. And that creates a 3-line scenario back to the stripe. It's going to be Stoner to the inside. Wilson to meet in the sandwich. He'll come out of it looking good as he takes the second spot, but Stoner continues to dig down to the bottom, and that's where the momentum is coming off of turn number 2. And Stoner looking to edge ahead for that runner-up spot. Crouch in the 92, he's moved himself up into 4th as Schneider fades back into the number 5 spot, and the pressure's on Wilkins. Here comes Wilson to the outside, challenging for the number 1 position. Bobbles a little bit, does Wilson, as he goes into turn number 1 and 2, still able to come out of it with the lead around Jason Wilkins. Stoner trying to follow suit as he takes it top shelf as well. The 92 of Walter Crouch is right there with 2 laps to go this time. Wilson continuing to have a hard time negotiating the entrance of turn number 1, and that opens the door for Stoner to go down to the bottom side. Drag race back into turn number 3. Crouch got the 3rd spot away from Wilkins. Now it's going to be Stoner down to the bottom. He'll grab the number 1 spot with the white flag out this time. Final lap, and Wilson not wanting to give up on that high side. Gets a good bite off turn number 2, but Stoner likewise down bottom. They are dead even down the back straightaway for this final qualifier. In round number 1 for the semi-lates, and Wilson chops down and may be able to come away. A good rebound for the 65 of Dylan Wilson as he takes the victory. Stoner will wind up in 2nd. Walter Crouch, Jason Wilkins, and the 81 of Jason Giesemann. They'll be the top 5 in heat race number 1. 7 of Rob Nichols starting third. He is in the 8th position in the standings. So these three drivers looking to see if they can move up to the mid to front half of our point standings after week number 2 as they get set 2 by 2 off at turn number 4 for another 5-lap qualifier. Field off into 1 and 2. Deal will grab the early lead away from Neff. It's going to be Nichols in the 7 down to the bottom side, trying to gain some traction. 1C of Steve Kent, also with a very strong run last week. He's on the outside of Nichols as he challenged for the number 3 position. And off at turn number 4, lap number 1, going to be Greg Deal having that lead. Neff in second. Kent gets around Nichols for third. 59 of Ryan Smith. They will make up the top 5 here on lap number 1. McQuay in that 3Ds also within striking distance likewise as the top 4 drivers separated by about a car length apiece. Led by Sheen or making the Greg Deal in the S7. Neff right at the tire tracks as they come back for that second circuit. Deal pushing a little off at turn number 1 and 2. That opens the door down bottom for Neff to the inside. And they will be dead even off into turn number 3 and 4. Deal still fighting hard on the outside. Neff trying to hug it down bottom, still side by side as they come back for 2 laps to go. And on the outside, Greg Deal able to power back around and reclaim that number 1 position. He goes higher on the track. Neff hugging the guardrail down to the bottom, and Brady Neff in the 03 getting the lead. But here comes Deal with that momentum on the high side. And this battle is being watched by the 1C of Steve Kent. He closes in with a white flag in the air this time by. And all over the rear bumper of Deal as they work it back into 1 and 2 for the final time this afternoon in their second qualifier. Neff less than a car length advantage. Deal will remain in second. Kent a car length back in third. And now Neff gets a little close to the guardrail. Deal shoots to the inside. And now they battle side by side at 3 and 4. Checkered in the air. Steve Kent trying to be a player in this. It's going to be Neff drag racing back to the stripe. And Neff in the 03 nipping the S7 of Greg Deal to take that second qualifying victory. 1C of Steve Kent coming home in third. 7 of Rob Nichols, and the 59 of Ryan Smith will be your top 5. Opener, but we have them back on a beautiful afternoon here. Sunshine just drenching the Hagerstown Speedway big half mile. And again, they'll be back with us next Saturday along with the IMC Race Saver Sprints, Late Model Sportsman's, and Pure Stocks. Race number 1 of the year for the UMP Modifieds. H2O of Rich Bookwalter, a little contact with the wall. A 3-wide battle for the moment. It ended at Jesmer. And the 97, Mitch Thomas had a good battle, but now we have a caution. The 7 Colton Longwell
got a car in the middle
spinning off turn number 2. Could you please report to the office? Jesse Hood, please report to the office. Daniels in that 76 went right up the racetrack in the path of all the cars, and everybody was able to avoid contact. 747 to Jesmer grabs that lead. 97 to Thomas, right behind him in second spot. Holds into the 18 in third. Those two drivers have peeled away a little bit here on lap number 1. And it's Holzen, the H2O of Bookwalter, followed by the 55 of Alyssa Rao, and the challenge for the lead, a good one. The 97 down to the bottom side. Thomas drag racing with Jesmer down the back straightaway. And he'll grab that lead here on the second circuit. Working their way off at turn number 4, back to the stripe for lap number 2 of 6. It's going to be the 97, and Thomas the leader. Jesmer in second, Holzen holding on to third. Bookwalter in the H2O fourth, and the 55 of Alyssa Rao. Right now the top 5 is everybody kind of evenly spaced out down the back straightaway. 76 of Daniels, the heat race winner, right on the back bumper of Rao, followed by the 7 of Colton Longwell. Halfway, heat race number 1. Thomas, very impressive in that 97. Pulling away from Jesmer, who's now falling back into the clutches of Rick Holson just a little bit. About 3 to 4 car lengths separation in the battle for second spot. Bookwalter solidly in fourth, and now Daniels from the pole. He has regained 1 one spot, gets back around the 55 around with the 2 to go indication coming this time by. Thomas once in front. He had a heated battle with Jesmer, but once he got it, he has checked out to about a half a straightaway lead. And that 97 for the driver out of Oakland, Maryland, is he'll be looking for the white flag this time by. Jesmer comfortably in second. We mentioned he kind of fell back in the clutches of Holson a little bit, but he's been able to maintain that gap over the 18 machine by about 3 to 4 car lengths as the leaders head down the back straightaway for the final time. Bookwalter bobbles a little bit back and forth. He holds on to that position, and meanwhile, the first modified victory of the year, the 97. Mitch Thomas coming away with a very impressive heat race win. 747 to Jim Jesmer. Winning second, the 18 Rick Olsen, the H2O Rich Bookwalter, and the 76 your Polson to Brady Daniels will round out the top 5.
Top 5.
Field getting set off turn 3 and 4 as we get set for our second and final UMP Mod qualifier. Amber Mills and Harry Hendershot from the front row. And troubles for the 35 of Stremme. Very strong car in the warm-ups as Dixon to the 77 quickly grabs a lead. We'll see whether Stremme takes that left-hand turn and does into the infield area. Tough break for one of the heavy favorites in the field. Dixon, meanwhile, on the 77, scorching the field early. He comes back for a quick lap number 1 and a quarter straightaway lead. 73 of Mills in second. Here comes Spike Moore, the 8W down to the inside, but caution is on the speedway.
Caution, caution. Got liquid on the speedway.
Green with the 17 exit Darren Hoover on the outside. 34 of Curtis Dunn. And then the G5 of Harry Hendershot. And at the point, trying to get him back to the green flag. It does. Here comes Spike Moore in the 8W. Two of the heavyweights in this second qualifier, and Dixon starting down low, sliding up that banking, holding on to the lead by a couple of car lengths over Moore, who is now in second. 17 of Hoover up to third. Mills dropping back into the number 4 position as they'll come back to complete lap number 2 of their 6-lap qualifier. Dixon still with a healthy margin of about 3 to 4 car lengths over Moore. Several more back to Hoover, then Mills and the 34. Being driven by Curtis Dunn, the G5 of Harry Hendershot rounding out the order as the field coming back in play lap number 3 of our UMP Modified Heat race. Two to go this time by for the 77, the one-time winner last year, George Dixon, against the one-time winner this year, that being Spike Moore. Hoover back to the line, a comfortable third. Mills likewise in fourth as the leaders head down the back straightaway. Pure stock heat race number 1 of 2 coming up in a few moments. Dixon working through the shadows of turn 3 and 4, a little bit higher on the track. Moore takes it down low. White flag is out, still about a 7-8 car length advantage. And a full straightaway back to the 17 of Hoover, who basically had a lot of problems off of that 4th turn, but still a good enough lead. And gap over the 73 of Amber Mills to maintain 3rd spot. Checkered in the air this time. Dixon brings a 77 off turn number 4, and will be our heat race 2 winner in the UMP Modified ranks. The 8W Spike Moore will wind up in second. Going to be the 17D of Darren Hoover holding on to 3rd. Polson or Amber Mills in the 73. She'll roll home 4th. And the 34 of Curtis Dunn will round out the top 5 in the second and final UMP Modified
scales
qualifier.
for your redraw: 77, 8W, 17X, 73, 34D.
Victory lane, including Nick Fogel, Nathaniel Yonker, Randy Lindenberg, and Jason Wilkins. Most of those names are all here this afternoon. In search of victories, Lindenberg already has 1. He'll be on the pole in heat race number 2, but right now we got 5 laps to tackle here in the first pure stock qualifier. Cody Sumption trying to grab that early lead down the back straightaway. Three grabs him, but here comes Keith Reed in the 8 machine. He looks to the inside. 67 to Bill Ecton Sr. back there in third. Right now Spielman fourth. Ecton Jr. in the 57. They are the top 5. They're single filed. After that, it's a logjam. Noblet in the 22's got some issues down bottom. He jammed up a few of them. Beavers, Bosley, and also Fuller. They're now 3 wide back to the number 6 position, trying to regain what they lost from the front 5 as the 03. Danny Walters makes his way back to the stripe for lap number 2. Reed and the number 8 grabs a lead because Walters goes high and looks like makes contact with the wall and has also lost at least part of his tire.
Caution, turn 1 and 2, stay low.
Danny Walters in the 03. Get your Hagerstown
All right, drivers,
Speedway
we're going to go green
and
flag
take a look at
this
some other
time.
fine collectibles.
Flag this time.
Well, the 03 of Danny Walters, unfortunately, getting the hook off into the pit area. Hopefully the damage not too severe that he can't continue in our main event. Very good run. Wrecking while leading over in turn number 1. That will put your defending champion Keith Reed along with Bill Ecton Sr. in the 67 on the front row as we get set to get back to green with 4 laps to go. Green is out. It's going to be Reed down to the bottom, grabbing the lead. Ecton Sr. and Jr. in the 57. They are second and third. Bosley in the 17 having a good run. Right now fourth. Here comes Beavers down to the inside. He has been struggling to try and find his way to the front of the field. He started on the inside of row number 5, but has had some heavyweights to deal with further back. Leaders back to the stripe. Going to be a little bit of a gap for Reed by about 5 or 6 car lengths back into turn number 1. Ecton Sr. in the 57, Jr. in the 67, Ecton Jr. in the 57. They are the top 3. Problems for the 19 of Mike Fuller. He really went for a high ride off of turn number 2. He gathers it back up, tail into the field as our leaders come back for the white flag. So Keith Reed, third in the, make it fourth in the series points after the double points in week number 1. Trying to rebound and get himself in a good spot. Bill Ecton Sr., Bill Ecton Jr., and now the 62 of Dylan Beavers still making that hard charge. Keith Reed will claim the heat race victory. Ecton Sr., Ecton Jr., Dylan Beavers, and a good run for the 17 of Jeff Bosley to Martinsburg, West Virginia. They will make up the top 5 in pure stock qualifier number 1. Well, green is out on the final 5-lap qualifier of the evening. It's Lindenberg down bottom, Faust up top, and the 32 of Tyler Fisher there likewise. Good high side move for Evan Faust in the 78, grabbing that lead. Lindenberg right on that rear bumper in second spot. Fisher in third, side by side between Sumption and Yonker. And here comes Lindenberg. Faust leaves the door open off of turn 4. And they are side by side back into turn number 1 and 2. Faust will win that battle again on the high side off that second turn. He'll grab a little bit of gear down the back straight away. Opens up about a 3-car length advantage, and trouble off of turn number 2. The 12 of David Thompson coming to a spin off that second turn. Caution on the speedway. Well, 1 lap complete of the 5. That will make up the final qualifier of the night. Let's see what Mr. Faust can do on the inside and Mr. Lindenberg on the outside this time. 2 very strong competitors right behind him, and then the rest of a very strong field of pure stocks as we get set to go in the green flag. Once again, back in the air as Evan Faust tries to win that battle back down to turn number 1. Faust going in was okay, but then she turned right on him, and now that opens the door for Lindenberg down to the bottom side. Here comes Yonker to the outside of Tyler Fisher back behind him. That will move Yonker up into third. Fisher back in the number 4 spot, and again Evan Faust able to dodge the bullets. Randy Lindenberg trying to put him down, but Evan Faust, each time it looks like one little miscue may cost him. He's able to rebound and hold on to the number 1 spot. And right now, he's opening up a little bit of a gap, and Yonkers in that 31 is now beginning to see if he can challenge for the number 2 spot. Tyler Fisher holding on to 4th, 30 of Cody Sumption back in 5th position as the leaders come back for 2 laps to go. Classic Racing Series drivers, you can start making your way over to the staging area. We will get you staged here on the front straightaway for your feature and the meet and greet. As the white flag about set to come out on the speedway for our final qualifier of the afternoon. 78 of Evan Faust making his way back to the stripe. Still Lindenberg in 2nd, Yonker 3rd, Fisher in 4th, and the 30 of Cody Sumption. All 5 evenly spaced out with some good gaps between them. Faust stirring up the dirt high in turn number 2 down that back straightaway one final time. And off of turn number 4, bobbling slightly, but a little bit of a lead. He'll rebound, climbing close to clobbering that wall. 78 of Evan Faust coming away with the final pure stock heat race victory of the afternoon. 17 of Randy Lindenberg will wind up in 2nd. The 31 of Nathaniel Yonker, the 32 of Tyler Fisher, and the 30 of Cody Sumption will be the top 5 in our final qualifier of the day here at the Speedway. Hagerstown Speedway pace truck heading off into the backstretch pits as we get set for our first 15-lap main event of the afternoon. Glad to have you with us here this evening on Fan Appreciation Night at the Speedway. Time to crank 'em up and featured activity here at the capital of dirt track racing. The one and only appearance of our Classic Racing Series getting the green flag. Well, Tyler Miller didn't want to be the chaser in this feature event. He quickly outdrug Jimmy Combs down into turn number 1 and grabs the early lead. Combs in the 2nd spot. Challenge is on for the number 3 position back there. The 07 of Nathan Toad looking down to the inside, but going to be Cantwell on that number 20 trying to fight back on the outside of him. But in the meantime, 15 of Logan Miller. He'll grab 3rd spot. Combs not done, though. He wants a piece of that action. Miller gives him a little bit of opening down to the bottom side of the racetrack. Tyler Miller will hold the lead. Cantwell's number 20 has dropped back several positions in the early race order as he tries to gather it back in as the top 2 bring their way back for lap number 2. Couple of car length separation from Miller and Combs. Back to a side-by-side battle for 3rd and 5th. And as they go back into turn number 1 and 2, going to be Jim Crocker in that number 12. He'll gain the 3rd spot. Cantwell, the 20, he's got some momentum. He's trying to power by the 15 of Logan Miller likewise and does. And now Cantwell doesn't want those top 2 drivers to get too far away from him. Tyler Miller holding the lead, but Combs right on that rear bumper as they come back for lap 3. Of Jim Crocker, he is right there. It bobbles a little bit. Cantwell giving a little bit of a shot as he got out of shape, and Cantwell able to go around and into that 3rd position. Jimmy Combs again with a late closure, late braking into turn number 3 and 4, and he keeps that pressure wound up on the 8 of Tyler Miller as he come back for that 4th circuit. And here comes the 20 of Cantwell. Using that outside momentum and down to the bottom side, going to be the 12 of Jim Crocker. And now Crocker tries to reassume that 3rd position. Miller with his biggest lead so far. That's only about 3 car lengths, but again, Cantwell trying to keep it wound up on the outside. And gain another position off of turn number 4. 5 of the 15 in the books this time by. Steve Cantwell getting that 2nd position. Now he's going to knife it down to the inside and see if he can outdrag Tyler Miller down the back straightaway. He'll easily do it. 53 of Combs in 3rd. Going to be the 12 of Crocker holding on to 4th. And those front 4 drivers have peeled away from the rest of the field as they come back for lap number 6. Cantwell up top. It's going to be Miller down low, and now Combs saw what Cantwell was able to do. He wants to follow suit and does as he gets around the Miller machine and puts the 53 up into 2nd position. Aiden Miller now back into third. The 12 of Crocker in fourth. Semi-late drivers for your main event. You can make your way to the staging area. Semi-late drivers for your main event to the staging area, please. So Cantwell got the lead. Combs found out how he did it. He got around Miller likewise, and now he remains in Cantwell's tire tracks with a 2-car length separation between the two. They have begun to move themselves away, and here goes Combs down to the inside. Again, late braking down in turn 3 and 4. Cantwell up for the challenge as he comes back halfway on the board here in our Classic Racing Series event. Again, semi-lates for your main event. Semi-late drivers, you can make your way to the staging area. As we were at halfway, caution coming down the first of the afternoon. It's going to be for the number 12 of Jim Crocker.
Got some fluid going into turn 1.
And looks like some fluid exiting from that machine as he limps it down to the bottom side of the racetrack. So our track officials will get that checked out, get everything taken care of before we get back to green flag action. Make your way to the staging area. 8 laps down of the 15, the makeup race number 1 tonight for the Classic Racing Series. Green flag back in the air as Steve Cantwell leads him back off of turn number 2, followed by Jimmy Combs. Challenge out to the inside. Here comes the 15 of Logan Miller. Challenging Tyler Miller. That's for the 3rd spot as he works it back into 3 and 4. 9 will be on the board this time by Cantwell swinging it wide. Jimmy Combs still in that middle groove, about 2 car lengths back as he come back to the stripe. Tyler Miller able to maintain that 3rd position. Logan Miller back there in 4th. Top 5 made up by the 27 of Connor Cantwell, and then the 07 of Nathan Tote rounding out the field as everybody pretty much right there within the same half straightaway of each other. 5 laps to go here in tonight's feature, and again Cantwell going wider and wider, and Jimmy Combs sees the opening down bottom and goes for it down into turn number 1 and 2. Cantwell has it wound up. Combs slides a little bit, so that allows Cantwell back out in front by a couple of car lengths. Lap number 11 on the board that time by as our semi-late drivers now begin to make their way and position themselves to get ready for their main event. We have got a few laps to go here in tonight's Classic Racing Series feature event. Jimmy Combs made a few challenges. All of a sudden, Cantwell and the number 20 begin to stretch things out, running the middle course on the racetrack as he comes off at turn number 4. For lap number 12, Combs about 3 car lengths back in 2nd spot, and Tyler Miller's not done in the number 8 machine as he begins to close. Combs bobbles, gets up in the loose stuff, and Miller underneath of him grabs 2nd spot. All that bodes well for Cantwell as he'll see the 2 to go indication back at the stripe as he opens up a late lead in tonight's Classic Racing Series feature event. This time it's Cantwell that's going high. Jimmy Combs trying to rebound and reassume that number 2 position from Miller. Can't quite do it off of that turn. Tyler holds on to a couple of car lengths advantage, and the white flag is going to be out. Semi-late drivers, you need to be heading to the staging area. Semi-late drivers to the staging area for your main event. White flag in the air for Steve Cantwell. And number Pennsylvania driver working that middle groove, middle to high off turn number 2 with a good lead off that 2nd turn. Lead of Tyler Miller, a couple of car lengths over Jimmy Combs. Those were the 2 top drivers in the heats. Actually, these 3 were the top of the heat earlier today. And it was Jimmy Combs winning the battle, but Steve Cantwell is going to win the war tonight as he takes the Classic Racing Series main event here at Hagerstown Tyler Miller, Jimmy Combs, they will be the top three when they come back to the stripe. 15 of Logan Miller, and also the 27 Connor Cantwell, followed by the 07 and Nathan Toad. They are the finishing order. Coming up. Well, again, our final one and only appearance of the Classic Racing Series. So, let him hear ya. Steve Cantwell, your Classic Racing Series winner this evening here at the Hagerstown Speedway. Well, Steve, watching heat race action, you watch that 8, you watch that 53 battle amongst each other. That's kind of how it started in the feature event. You figured something out up top.
Yeah, my car was pretty much set up for a dry slick track. During the heat, it was a little tacky, a little wet, so the car wasn't really doing too good, but I knew as the day went on, the car was going to like it.
Yeah, I saw when you got around Tyler, Jimmy had lost the lead, or actually Tyler got around him, but you got around him as well. And then Jimmy saw what you did, and looked like the 53 was trying to follow suit. So there for a little bit, you guys had a little bit of battle. You were running a little bit higher, he was down low. Then all of a sudden, towards the very end, you just stretched it out.
Yeah, I know I had a pretty good, decent lead on him, and I don't think he knew what was going to get by me, but I mean, the car was definitely feeling pretty good.
Well, we're always glad to see you guys here at Hagerstown. I know it was very eventful last year with the lights going out when you guys were coming down to take the green flag. For those fans, I know some of them had a chance to come down for the meet and greet and learn a little bit more about the Classic Racing Series. Where are some of the other tracks that you guys are going to be running at this year if some of the fans want to go see you?
We're going to be at Baps, Roaring Knob, Lincoln, and Bridgeport. And those are going to be our tracks this year that we're going to be hitting.
Well, we certainly appreciate you guys coming out this evening. Congratulations on a hard-earned effort, and thanks so much for you guys in the Classic Racing Series for being here tonight.
Thank you. And if you guys want to follow us, go ahead and follow our page on Facebook, Classic Racing Series. You guys will be able to figure out the schedule and everything from there.
All right, Steve, congratulations. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, here you go, Steve. All right, I'll just give you that. I'll take that. All right, Steve Cantwell, your Classic Racing Series winner tonight here at Hagerstown. All right, field is set as we'll look for the green flag next time by. Rob Nichols out of Winchester in the number 7. He is currently number 8 in the series points. He had a very strong campaigner last year here at the Hagerstown Speedway, looking for that first victory early in 2024. 03 of Brady Neff on the outside. 15 laps of distance here at our semi-late main event, and we look for the green flag, this time off turn number 4. Now the 1C of Steve Can look like he also got a good start down to the bottom side, and he'll challenge Rob Nichols for that number 1 position. 2x2, 4 wide off turn number 2. Going to be Wilkins at the number 9 winning that battle. 65 of Dylan Wilson. He's still right in the thick of it. Kent takes the lead. And now Nichols fighting on the outside. Wants to reclaim that number 1 spot and does. Rob Nichols, the leader of lap number 1. Walter Crouch into second. Kent third. Wilkins fourth. And Dylan Wilson, the early top 5. Neff in the 03, back in 6th. 21 of Stoner. He's in 7th. He's got some digging to do, and he has got 6 very tough drivers to get around to get that second victory in the early part of 2024. Meanwhile, up front, Nichols holding that lead off at turn number 4. Here they come back to the stripe one more time. 92 of Walter Crouch in second.
Caution on the backstretch, stay high. Caution on the backstretch, stay high.
And the early season problems for your defending champion Jason Giesemann in the 81 continue. And field is set right now. Again, it's going to be Nichols up front. Walter Crouch in the 92.
Green flag this time, 7UR,
semi-late
full
feature event
setter.
victory. The second row. Steve Kent, the 1C. Very strong run all last year. Still looking for that first victory of the 2024 season as well. 2 laps in the books of the 15 that make up our semi-late main event. And Crouch with a good restart. The 92 on the outside, grabbing that lead. Kent down bottom, and here comes Rob Nichols and Jason Wilkins up the middle. Those two are nose to tail. Going to be Stoner in the 21. He has gone around the Dylan Wilson machine to the inside. That will move him up into 5th position as the field works their way back for lap number 3. And trouble.
Yellow turn 2, stay high. Yellow turn 2, stay high.
Number 3 and 4. All right, right in the shady part of the racetrack down on that end, and caution quickly comes right back out. Stacked up off of turn number 4. Crouch to the inside. Going to be Nichols to the outside. 3 wide battle behind them as Stoner goes down to the inside of Jason Wilkins. And we'll see if the door gets slammed shut. No, it's going to be Wilkins climbing the bank in a little bit. That opens the door. Meanwhile, it's going to be Rob Nichols to the inside of Crouch. Tries to get down, but Crouch is up for the task. Stoner and Wilkins side by side for the number 3 spot. 5th position also up for grabs. Dylan Wilson and Steve Kent there side by side likewise, as they come back for lap number 4. Crouch will be the leader. Wilkins now some newfound power and also finding something out there on the racetrack groove-wise. He'll move around while Nichols goes into 2nd spot. Going to be Nichols in 3rd, Stoner 4th, Kent, Wilson. Next drivers in line, followed by the 59 of Ryan Smith. Crouch holding Wilkins off as best he can. He's running middle of the racetrack. Wilkins just right on that right rear deck lid as he came off at turn number 2. Again, Stoner holding on to 3rd. Rob Nichols trying to fight back on the outside of that number 4 position. Steve Kent, the 1C, holding on to 5th. Leaders come back for lap number 6. Single file for the front 5 positions. You have to go back to that 6th position. That's going to be with the 59 of Ryan Smith on the outside of Dylan Wilson. They are side by side challenging for that. Give the edge to Smith as they work it back into 3. Lap number 7 going on the board as we get close to the halfway point in tonight's Simulate main event. Still Walter Crouch up front by a couple of car lengths advantage over Jason Wilkins. Heated exchange for the lead after the restart is now settled down just a little bit. The 21 of Jason Stoner holding on to 3rd position. Going to be Rob Nichols in the number 7 running 4th. And the 1C of Steve Kent rounding out the top 5. Halfway on the board this time by for Walter Crouch in the 92. Wilkins in the number 9, still feeling the pressure from the 21 of Stoner. They have kind of extricated themselves away from the 7 of Rob Nichols. They got about a 5 or 6 car length advantage over the 4th place machine. The 1C of Steve Kent, a couple of more car lengths back in 5th. And right behind him, here comes the 59 of Ryan Smith. He continues to pedal hard to get up in that top 5. Leaders off at turn number 2, the 25 of Jeremy Mills just in front. This time Stoner continuing to chip away, now side by side with Wilkins. The 5 to go indication will go on the board when they come back to the stripe this time. Mills giving them plenty of racing room. Here comes Crouch down to the bottom side, 5 to go here in our Simulate main event. Wilkins again fending off Stoner. Looked like Stoner had him covered down the back straightaway, and Wilkins now buried down to the bottom of the racetrack in turn 1 and 2, trying to hold it down there. Stoner gets a good run off of that 2nd turn, pulls up near the left rear quarter panel. That's about as close as he can get as he get back into 1 and 2 and make it down there in turn number 3 and 4 with 11 laps complete. Rob Nichols of the number 7, still a very solid 4th position. The 1C of Steve Kent back in 5th. 59 of Ryan Smith holding on to that 6th position. But we refocus back on that 2nd position. It continues to be nip and tuck back and forth between Wilkins and Stoner. Just when it looks like Wilkins has it in hand, he slips a little in turn number 2. That opened the door for Stoner once again as they come back for lap number 12. Nonetheless, laps are winding down and running out for those 2 drivers in 2nd and 3rd. As the 92 Walter Crouch trying to score his first victory here at the Hagerstown Speedway in 2024. Heading into the shade off at turn number 4 and then down the front straightaway. Still some sunshine, enough to see that 2 to go sign for Walter Crouch as he comes back into turn number 1. Wilkins again going low in turn number 1 and 2, then climbing the banking, having a hard time holding that car down. But Stoner's 21 also having some issues, trying to keep pace. He's dropped a few car lengths back in 3rd. Still Rob Nichols in fourth. Ryan Smith been on the charge. He's right on the rear bumper of Steve Kent. White flag. Meanwhile, in the air for Walter Crouch. Remington, Virginia driver started on the outside of row number 2. He had Geeson and Nichols and Brady Neff to deal with early. And then later on, he's got Wilkins and Stoner, two of the best in the business, chasing him down. But off of turn number 4, Walter Crouch, the Remington, Virginia driver, collecting his first Simulate victory of the season at Hagerstown. Wilkins will come home in second. Stoner will be third. Rob Nichols and Steve Kent will be your top 5. Coming up, strong winner race here, and there he is, folks. Walter Crouch, your Simulate feature winner tonight here at the Hagerstown Speedway. 2 races, 2 faces, and Simulate competition in the 2024 racing season. Very strong effort, a very strong field of cars tonight here at Hagerstown. Jason Wilkins coming on by to offer up some congratulations to winner of our Eric Johnson Speed race just a season ago, and that's what it's all about. Walter, win or run, every time you come here, you're always a very strong competitor, and you proved it once again. Not as great of a run as you wanted last week, still solid, you're in the top 10, but he said, well, you know, we're going to get back to the shop. We're going to figure things out, and by golly, you did.
Well, I don't know about figuring it out, but it was better.
No, indeed it was, and you know, a lot of dogs breathing down your neck. I mean, Jason Wilkins, he's a class act, and he's another tough one to follow. You knew Stoner had to be somewhere back there in that pack, and so many other drivers. How was the race for you, in your opinion?
It was a good time. It's definitely 2 different racetracks, one end to the other.
Well, and is it the sun and the shade that has the biggest impact on you with that?
Tonight, yeah, oh yeah.
Where was the biggest end? What was the biggest challenge? Which end?
It's slick, real smooth down here, and hammer down there.
Well, tell me, I mean, it just was an extraordinary effort. I know you were very strong last week in your efforts. What does this mean to you and your team to come here and beat a very strong field of Simulates tonight?
Oh, it's confidence building.
Who would you like to thank?
Everybody helps. Everybody standing here, they all know what they do.
All right.
Straight.
Well, Walter, congratulations. I'm going to let you enjoy it with all these fine people. Great job. We hope to see you back here again.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Walter Crouch, your Simulate winner tonight here at Hagerstown Speedway. Very strong effort in that 92 Modifieds Modifieds running a couple of different racetracks tonight, but still a very good field of cars. When you split all of them up, it's kind of hard to get a solid field. But when you have the likes of a George Dixon and a Spike Moore, Rick Holson, Jimmy Jesmer, and so many others, look out. 20 laps coming your way. UMP Modifieds begin their point season right now off turn 4. Well, and Spike Moore knows he has got some work to do because George Dixon started in front of him, and he quickly gets down to the inside, grabs the number 1 spot. Here comes Jimmy Jesmer in the 747. Quickly to the inside of Darren Hoover in that 17X. That's the battle for the number 2 spot. Dixon right behind them as they come back to complete lap number 1 in a modified main event. Going to be more the leader. Contact between Jesmer and Hoover. Those two literally got sideways, gathered it back up, no harm. It'll be Jesmer second, Hoover in third. Dixon holding on to the number 4 spot. 76 of Daniel down to the inside with Holson of the 18 and the 97 of Mitch Thomas, who had a very decisive heat race win, finding his way, or trying to, through the field of cars. Moore looking to run and hide. He's up in the high groove, and he has got a good quarter of a straightaway lead over Jesmer. Right now, he's got 5 or 6 car lengths over the 77 of George Dixon. Holds in, battling to the inside of Hoover. He wants the number 4 position. Daniel and Thomas are likewise. 3 quick laps on the board here in UMP Modified action. And Mitch Thomas in the 97, not to be forgotten, he is trying to find his way desperately. He'll go to the inside. There's going to be some debris high in turn number 1 and 2. And that was a result of some battling between Thomas, Holton, and Hoover. And then also one of the drivers spinning. That's going to be the G5 machine right up by the debris.
Yellow, we've got a car in the middle of 1 and 2. Car in the middle of 1 and 2.
should say outside. Dixon in the
Driver's
77,
going
the
green this
one-time
time.
winner a year
Green
ago.
this time.
And then the 18 of Rick Olson, the 97 of Mitch Thomas. He had a very solid heat race victory. The 76 of Daniel. They'll make up row number 3 with 17 circuits still to go early in tonight's UMP Modified main event. Slamming the pedal to the floor, and the Modifieds headed back into turn number 1 and 2. Dixon and more get together, and a lot of other drivers collected, including the 97 of Mitch Thomas. And caution right back out on the racetrack. Stacked up down the back straightaway. A pair of Baltimore area drivers right up front. 747 of Jimmy Jesmer Jr. The 18 of Rick Holzin. Brady Daniel, that's 76. And the number 7 of Colton Longwell. We talked about drivers that have had some fortune starting in the back. Colton Longwell started the inside of row number 7. Green flag, meanwhile, is back out. We'll watch the front, we'll watch the middle, and we'll watch the back because there is action that's going to be everywhere. Jesmer grabs the lead. Holson in the second. Daniel third. And here comes Spike Moore. He and Mitch Thomas split the difference in Alyssa Rao down the back straightaway. They're trying to win the battle to see who can get to turn number 3 first. Still 3 wide. With the 76 of Longwell on the high side. Thomas in the 97, a man on a mission. Blowing his way through the field. He gets around Moore. And pulls himself up into the number 4 spot. Right in front of him, a spinner. That's going to be the number 7 of Colton Longwell. Thomas was able to avoid contact, but caution quickly right back out on the racetrack. A lot of things have happened early in 4 laps of modified action tonight. Field going back to green. Jesmer grabbing the initial lead as Holson goes into second. Spike Moore with a good run off turn number 2 down to the bottom side. He goes to the inside of Mitch Thomas and grabs that number 3 spot. Not done by the time he gets to 3. He's underneath of the 18 of Rick Holson and will challenge for the runner-up position and have it by the time he comes back for lap number 5. Going to be Holson in third, Thomas in fourth, the 77 of George Dixon, the one-time winner from a year ago, not to be forgotten. He's a very tight 5th. 7 of Longwell's rebounded for the number 6 spot. Daniels faded to 7th. Alyssa Rao side by side with the H2O Bookwalter. That's going to be back for the 8th position as we come back for lap 6. And Jimmy Jesmer Jr. in front. Couple of Carlings, about 3 over Spike Moore right now. And again, George Dixon not done. He is working on the 97 of Thomas, who seems to be fading just a little bit. Going to be Moore in second position. The 18 of Rick Holson holding on to third. Dixon using the high line. Everybody else pretty much down low, but Dixon's found something up top, and he begins to challenge Holson down the front straightaway, grabbing that third position and moving closer to the front. Jesmer's lead, a couple of Carlings. He's down low. It's going to be Spike Moore up high. Then they have a pretty good gap back to Dixon. Then Holson and Thomas, the top 5. 8 laps will be complete this time by. Challenge for the lead could be coming. Spike Moore, he has been able to work down low. He's been able to work up high, and now he's challenging Jimmy Jesmer Jr. down the back straightaway on the outside for the number 1 position. As they work it through turn number 3 and 4, Spike Moore has found his way back to the front of the field here on lap number 9. Jesmer, Dixon, Thomas, and Holson, they'll be your top 5. Field is evenly spaced out, pretty much about 4 to 5 Carlings separation between all your top drivers. As the G5 of Harry Hendershot hits the pits, we hit halfway. 10 in the books and 10 to go here in a UMP Modified main event. The 8W Spike Moore right now holding on to that number 1 spot. Driver to Defiance, Ohio, as we mentioned, winning at Bedford Speedway a weekend ago. And once in front, beginning to space some distance on Jimmy Jesmer Jr. He's fallen into the clutches of the 77 of George Dixon. 97 Mitch Thomas holding on to the number 4 spot. 18 of Rick Olsen back in 5th. And not to be forgotten, the 7 of Colton Longwell. He's had a couple of challenging issues down in turn number 1 and 2 early, but right now he is still in the thick of the battle of the top 5 run. As we embark on the second half of tonight's UMP Modified main event, 12 laps will be in the books this time by. The lead well in hand by about a quarter of a straightaway. We'll watch the battle for second as Jimmy Jesmer Jr. still a couple of car lengths over George Dixon. Dixon trying to move to the bottom side and going to try and make it stick. Jesmer a little high side momentum for the moment. Keeps him in that number 2 spot. And again, Dixon dive bombing down in turn number 3 and 4, then drifting up into the middle groove, slamming the door shut on Jesmer and taking the number 2 spot. Now a caution would be a great help to George Dixon. It's going to be a big lead for Spike Moore, about a half a straightaway with 13 laps complete. Thomas in the 97 also closing in on that battle while Dixon and Jesmer tussled for the number 2 spot. And now he's looking for that 3rd position with 14 laps complete. Cruise control for the moment for Spike Moore. He'll get the 5 to go indication when he comes back to the stripe this time. Dixon a half a straightaway back in second. A good 10 car lengths up on Jimmy Jesmer, who's got a couple on Mitch Thomas. Holds into the 18, remains back there with the number 5 spot with the 7 of Colton Longwell, rounding out the top 6. 5 laps to go. Pure stock drivers making their way to the staging area, getting set for their 15-lap finale for the evening as the sun sets below the trees here on a Saturday afternoon here at Hagerstown Speedway. And Spike Moore enjoying the run back to the stripe. He'll possibly have to deal with a lap car or 2 before things are done, but plenty of a lead as he works up in the high groove, right on the cushion off of that second turn and down the straightaway. Thomas moments ago got around the 747 of Jimmy Jesmer Jr. That will put him back up into 3rd position. 18 of Rick Olsen still in 5th as we come back for lap number 17. Around the lap machine of Alyssa Rowell that time by for Spike Moore. 2 laps to go. Also in the books as the 76 of Daniel kicking up some dirt off at turn number 2. Closing in on that guardrail as Moore works it down the back straightaway. Dixon in the 77. A good 3/4 of a straightaway back in second. Thomas in the 97 third. 747 to Jimmy Jesmer Jr. And the 18 Rick Olsen still the top 5 as the white flag comes out for Spike Moore. Well, he had a big success last weekend and looking to double up as he will go to a different racetrack and continue his early season success in UMP Modified competition. He'll work in turn number 3 and 4 for the final time, and early in the season, he strikes again. Spike Moore coming away with the opening UMP Modified victory here at the Hagerstown Speedway. 77 of George Dixon coming home in 2nd spot. The 97 of Mitch Thomas will wind up in 3rd. 747 of Jimmy Jesmer Jr. and the 18 of Rick Olsen will be your top 5. Quite impressive early in the season. Spike Moore, your winner in UMP Modified action tonight here at the Hagerstown Speedway. 100th win. You've been around long enough to win 100 races.
Oh yeah, started back in like 2007. It's been a long road, but finally got here.
Well, I tell you what, it was impressive to see the victory at Bedford. I wasn't there, but to see that name, because I know we had you in some stock car racing here. You made the switch to modifieds. It looks like it was a good choice.
Yeah, we've had a lot of fun with the cars so far. I felt like I was on cruise control out there. Going to the back just made it that much harder. Yeah, I don't even know what to say. Just just got to thank all my guys. And like I said, 100, it was probably better that I was mad there. I wasn't thinking about it. So, but yeah, got to thank all my sponsors, Foggy Ridges, TNC Excavating, Master Machine, Extreme Hook, Rick Steel, Mullins Race Engines build one heck of an engine. I recommend them to anybody. Chubby Trucking, Carter Fabrication, Fox Shocks, Jared Fitz Motorsports, Hairspray Creations. There's so many people. I can't even thank them all. Ryan Sager, Steve Chamberlain, so many people.
What was the decision? I know we saw you in some late model sportsman action last year, but what was the decision to make a switch over to Modifieds this year?
Well, just kind of the cost of late models is just kind of getting out of hand. We still want to have fun, and I figured this is the way to do it. I mean, this ain't cheap either, but it's not as bad. So, plus you can race these anywhere in the country, and that's what we plan to do.
Well, you picked up 2 victories at 2 very key racetracks at Bedford and Hagerstown Speedways. Did you think when this season started by making that switch over to Modifieds, you'd find success this quickly in the year?
Honestly, no, I didn't. We went to Florida. We won a Gator down there, so like right out of the box, we was right with the top guys. And couldn't believe it, but we bought a good car and got a good engine package, and I think that's key to everything.
Well, you had Mitch Thomas, you have George Dixon, you had Jesmer, you got Rick Holson. You know these guys. The UMP Modifieds, no matter where you go, Winchester, Hagerstown, Bedford, Volusia, you know they're going to be tough down there. It's a tough crop no matter where you go. So you beat some very good drivers here this evening, and to have to come from the back of the pack to do it, that was pretty impressive. Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, Spike Moore. Stock cars a year ago and a 2-time winner in UMP Modifieds already here in the 2024 season. All right, our finale for the night, 15 laps for the Pure Stocks. Good field of cars on hand once again tonight here at the Hagerstown Speedway. Green flag in the air, and we have got some wild 3- and 4-wide racing down the front straightaway already. Well, Nathaniel Yonker, so close so many times last year and finally got that first victory. He'll claim the #1 spot in a 3-wide battle after that. For number 2, and that's Keith Reed winning it. Dylan Beavers, Bill Ecton Jr., Evan Faust, Bill Ecton Sr., and Randy Lindenberg. Very strong array of pure stock drivers coming back for lap number 1. Yonker will work the high side of the track. Reed's going to be down low, about 3 or 4 car lengths separation between the two. Beavers in the 62 looking very strong all afternoon long. Here comes the 78 of Evan Faust likewise. But he's got Bill Ecton Jr. in that 57 to deal with first. Ecton Jr. is in 4th. And it's going to be Faust in 5th. Ecton Sr. in 6th. Jeff Bosley back in 7th. Cody Sumption holding on to 8th. Lindenberg and Tyler Fisher side by side back for 9th. And Lindenberg almost spins it. Got out of shape as he got in the back of Cody Sumption, and there was Tyler Fisher down to the bottom side to keep him straight. But he lost a lot of momentum, and it's early. 2 laps complete, soon to be 3 as they come back to the stripe. Yonker maintaining a pretty good lead. He holds that line up high, still about 2 to 3 car lengths right now, but the 78 of Evan Faust, the driver to watch right now, to the inside of Beavers. That's the battle for 3rd. And caution on the speedway right now.
Hello, in turn 2, stay high, turn 2, stay high. Great driver, green flag this time.
mentioned 5 different winners a year ago in pure stock action. Will we find our second in as many weeks here in the early part of the 2024 season? Yonkers in the 31 was one of them. A 3-wide battle, and here comes Evan Faust in the 78, looking to get right up through the middle. Beavers in the 62, hard on that rear quarter panel. It's going to be Keith Reed, 4 wide, down the back straightaway. Reed to the inside, Beavers, Faust, and Yonkers. Now they go 2 by 2 down in turn number 3 and 4, and Evan Faust has really been cooking at the early part of this season. The 78 looking to be the leader here at lap number 4. Yonker is right there. He got pinched had to back off a little bit and holds on to second. Going to be Beavers and Reed side by side for third. And then Bill Ecton Sr. in the 67, he wins a Hornet's Nest back there. There's going to be Fisher, Bosley, Ecton Jr., and Randy Lindenberg. Great battles, 4 and 5 car battles in the front and the middle part of this racetrack. 5 of 15 complete, and the first 5 have been magic. A lot of great action here in the Pure Stock division, which has not let anybody down the last couple of years. Evan Faust in the 78 has got himself about a 5-car length edge. Going to be Yonkers in second, Beavers in third, Reed in fourth. Those 3 very tightly bunched together. Bill Ecton Sr. in the 67. Right now he holds on to the number 5 spot. He leads the second charge of cars with the 32 of Tyler Fisher and the 17 of Lindenberg. So the front 4 pretty much are single file. Not much of a challenge, and as we mentioned that, Keith Reed looks to the inside of Beavers. Now that straightens out. Ecton feeling the pressure because here comes Lindenberg and Fisher. Lindenberg to the inside, Fisher right on his rear bumper. Bill Ecton Jr., Jeff Beavers, or make it Bosley, and then Blake Reed back behind him. Those are all the drivers in the top 10 here at lap number 7, and again, caution on the speedway.
Got debris in turn 1 and 2, stay low. Debris in 1 and 2, stay low.
The 1-2 turn area, the reason for the caution here as we close it. Field stacked up, 2x2 off turn 4. It's going to be Faust trying to get the edge on the restart, and does at the stripe. As the field works their way back into turn number 1 and 2. Yonker right in his tire track's going to be Beavers down low. Is Keith Reed on his high side in the battle for third. Lindenberg and Fisher, they are side by side for the number 5 spot. Then Ecton Sr., Ecton Jr., Blake Reed, and Jeff Bosley. Leaders back for lap number 8. This will mark halfway in tonight's 15-lap finale. Faust and Yonker, one of the few that don't have any issues as far as challenges, and a problem for the 32 of Jeff Fisher. That hood is flown up right into the windshield area of that driver. Running back there in the number 6 position. Tough break for the Fair Play Maryland competitor. Meanwhile, just up in front of him, Randy Lindenberg beginning to make his presence felt, putting heavy pressure on the 2023 champion Keith Reed in the battle for fourth. Fisher still holding his own, but that is a debris caution or any kind of an issue, a major issue waiting to happen. So they are trying to handle that situation as we stay green flag racing. Meanwhile, Faust in the 78 with about a 6-car length advantage over Yonkers. He's going to be looking at the 5-2 sign when he comes back to the stripe this time. Keith Reed moments ago has fended off the challenges of Randy Lindenberg, and now he's gone on the attack on the 62 of Dylan Beavers again. That's the ongoing battle for third. And Beavers still using the high side, holding on to the spot. Reed is right behind him in fourth, and Lindenberg a car length back in fifth. Fisher holding on to 6th position. Ecton Sr. in 7th. Bill Ecton Jr. 8th. Blake Reed in 9th. And Bosley spins as something looked like it broke on the rear end of that car and sent him right into the outside retaining wall of the entrance of turn number 3. Very tough break for the 17 of Jeff Bosley in Martinsburg, West Virginia. Was running up in the top 10, and all of a sudden something looked like it broke on that car and turned him into the outside wall in turn number 3. Losing any spots, so he's on the outside of row number 3. With the father-son duo of Bill Ecton Sr. in the 67, Bill Ecton Jr. in the 57, make it up the top 4 rows. Set to get back to green, 5 laps to go. As the field gets that green flag, Evan Faust carries them back into turn number 1 and 2. It's going to be Yonker and Reed up high. Dylan Beavers in the 62. He's trying to find a charge and some momentum down bottom. Right now, Yonkers has the high side momentum. He'll hold on to it. Reed now challenging on the outside, almost trying to split the middle between Yonkers and also Beavers. Lindenberg trying to follow right through as Faust leads him back for lap number 11. says, let them battle. I just want to get away from here. And right now he holds about a 3-car length advantage over Yonkers. Reed has moved up into 3rd. Beavers in 4th. Lindenberg in 5th. Fisher a little high off turn number 2. Bill Ecton Jr. now is the 57 up into the number 6 spot. Blake Reed with a very good run. He's up into the 7th position. And back behind him, it's going to be the 32 of Fisher along with the 30 of Cody Sumption, rebounding from an early race spin. 1.2 seconds of differential, and Bevan Faust, if he had a rearview mirror looking back, the next 4 in line, nose to tail, but that lead continues to grow. And we're going to be looking at 2 laps to go off turn number 4 this time by. Still Yonkers leading that charge in the 2nd spot, Reed in 3rd. Beavers and Lindenberg still the top 5 with 2 to go. Again, very impressive, as we mentioned, starting back at the 8th position tonight. Dylan Beavers, Nathaniel Yonkers, Keith Reed, Tyler Fisher, both Ectons, and Jeffrey Bosley. A lot of very good pure stock drivers that he had to get around, and he's only got 1 more lap to do it. White flag out for Evan Faust. Taking it off at turn number 2, again with a very comfortable lead. Yonkers and Reed continue their battle for 2nd position. Beavers in 4th and Lindenberg in 5th. Everybody pretty good as Faust works his way midsection back through turn 3 and 4, picking up the first win of the season for the pure stocks for him. Evan Faust takes the victory in the 78 machine. 31 of Nathaniel Yonkers comes home in 2nd. Going to be the 8 of Keith Reed in 3rd. 62 of Dylan Beavers and the 17 of Randy Lindenberg. The top 5. Well, again, starting back in the 8th position tonight, and you can tell this means a lot. There he is, folks, Evan Faust, your pure stock winner, his first career here at the Hagerstown Speedway. Knoxville, Maryland driver had to beat some of the best here in pure stock action at Hagerstown, and boy did he in a very, very convincing fashion. Survived a lot of restarts, a lot of cautions, red flags and such, and he found his way into victory lane. And now we have 2 different winners as we look back or look forward to next Saturday night here at the Hagerstown Speedway. Will there be a 3rd? We've already got 2 heavyweights that have scored victories. We're going to see if we can have number 3 next weekend. Getting congratulations from last year's champion Keith Reed. Walks over to the fence right now, and all his fans and family very, very happy for this young man. Some tears being shed as well. That's what it's all about. Evan, my first question, my friend. Are you going to sleep tonight?
No, man, we're going to party like crazy tonight, man. Look, we got our ass kicked last year. Like, just worked real hard, but just didn't have the results. Kept fighting, and this just feels really good.
Well, you can say that in one sense, but I think we all agreed here on our side of the fence that you were looking stronger, you were showing improvement, and things were looking better and better. And then after last week, it's like, this guy's close. He's very close.
We went to work in all season and got the car ready. Like, my uncle was a whiz when it comes to this stuff, and just learning off of him and just having fun, just working hard.
You know what I'm going to look at right now is I'm going to look at your sheet. I'm looking at Bill Ecton Sr. and Jr., Jeff Bosley, Tyler Fisher, Nathaniel Yonker, Keith Reed, Dylan Beavers. These are all drivers that started in front of you that you eventually had to get around. There's a lot of very good drivers right there, including Randy Lindenberg that I'm sure was in the hunt right behind you. But those were some tough guys. You really had a hard road to hoe from the starting lineup initially.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with this invert, but I started winning heat races and they started inverting us, and I don't know, maybe my style's a little coming from the back. I feel comfortable like that. Yeah, it's just, my boy Aaron's not here. He's out, driving Miss Daisy, but we're thinking about him,
What's the biggest difference in the offseason? What did you guys see at the tail end of the year and said, this is what we need to work on to make ourselves get better to the point where this is where we're sitting?
We had a lot of mechanical issues last year where we just didn't have consistency in the way the motor and things are running. So it was hard for me to learn. And just giving my uncle feedback and just keep working, and just keep working, and then, just went and studied and tried to get better in the off season, and just paid off. It's just from the time we hit practice this year, we just knew it was good.
I know it's kind of a dumb question, but what does this mean to you?
It means a lot. I mean, this is a dream come true. So,
My uncle's super accomplished in racing. Just to drive his car and win it is awesome.
Who would you like to thank? I know there's a lot, but you got time.
My boy J-Rod, Danny, my best friend who's working with us, my dad, my mom, my family, my girls, my wife, just, putting up with me in the garage all the time. Like, I don't know when to stop, man. When I set my mind, I just want to work. And I told him I was going to win one of these races. I didn't think it was going to take this long, so.
Well, all right, daggone it, Evan, about time. He's getting teary-eyed and emotional. I'm going to let you go, though. You're going to go enjoy this with those folks. Hey, have one for me tonight, will you?
I'm going to drink plenty for the whole place.
All right, Evan Faust. Nothing's better and sweeter than that first one. And he takes a pure stock victory tonight here at the Hagerstown Speedway. First career win.